Hi, welcome back to my channel. Before I start, if you like the content what I'm doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. I always try and get back to the people who contact me, and this is one of those occasions. Basically, I was asked about this watch, my Seiko Baby Monster here, and how do you adjust the bracelet? And so what I've done, to keep it simple, I've took the bracelet off the watch. I'll put this to one side now. I'll put the spring bars safely over there. Now, I pointed out that this watch, this bracelet, doesn't have screws. It doesn't have pins and collars. It's got split pins. Now, split pins are a lot easier to, to remove and replace than pins and collars. Not quite as easy as screws, to be fair, but you do need a couple of little bits of tools for this. You can pick up one of these off the internet. They're incredibly cheap, they're only a few pounds. I did have a plastic one prior to this, but that actually broke. Spring bar tool, just for making life easy and taking the bracelet off the watch. Optional are a bracelet holder, which you can put a bracelet in like this, and one of these little pins for being able to actually press the pin back in. But anyway, I'll show you just quickly for now without that. Now, most importantly, on the back you have these arrows. Now these arrows indicate which way the pin has got to be removed. So all you do for now, place it in here, and you line up the hole. Let's see, let's do this one. Okay, so that's now in, that pin's in there, in the hole. Now when I screw this in, that's it, that's easy. It's gone past its point now, so I can unscrew that. Now take this out, and what you'll see, if I pull this out, is what's called a split pin. Now let me get this close up here so you might be able to see it. You see there's a bulbous end there. Sorry, the muck on my fingers from a split pin. There's a slightly bulbous end, very hard to see, and this end is solid. So all it is a bar which literally been turned upon itself to create a pin, and it's swaged out at the end there to allow a little bit of friction. Now let's say you've took all the links out you need to put this back in, because it's, I say it's swaged. Don't know if that focus, come on, what do you do? I don't want to focus, can't do this one-handed, let me see. Because I say it is swaged at that end, you can't push that end in first. So we're going to go exactly the opposite way round. The bit where it's bent over, the thinner part, we put back in against the flow, against the arrow. Find a hole, and hey presto, that's it. And it goes all the way up to there. It's almost all the way in. Obviously that's still loose, so all I use, anything flat really, you can press it down on a table or something like that, and all you do is press, and okay, so that's now flush. Flush isn't good at what I mean by flush is now at the same level as the bracelet, but that isn't good enough. So there's a lot more space on that side, and you want to even it out. So I'm going to put this on here. Now this is where you got the two different options. If you do have one of these, you can place it in there, place that on there, and if you've got a tiny little hammer, you can knock that down. Or, let me move that. If we keep with this tool, you simply just press, get it onto that end, which is a little bit harder to do, and all I'm going to do is maybe turn it just so it goes in a couple of mil, no more than that. So it's quite hard to do from behind a camera. There we go, that's it. And you see now I've just pressed that in a couple of millimeters. So now when I look on the other side, you could possibly even go in a tad more actually. You want to try it, you want to do it so it's roughly about equal But anyway, that's in and it's not going nowhere. Whenever you do any work on a bracelet, if it be a bracelet or a strap, fitting it back to a watch, or you've just put a link in like this, give it a little wiggle. Make sure it's not suddenly going to fall out, because you don't want to put the watch on and then find out that it falls off. The same when I put this watch back into the bracelet back into the head of the watch. Even though I might hear the spring bars clip back in, you always want to make sure, give it a small tug or pull, just to make sure, because I once, many years ago, I think I put a strap onto a watch and I thought I heard it click, went to put it on and it fell off. Fortunately, it was onto carpet, so it didn't make any difference at all. But whenever you do anything, always just make sure it is solid. Okay then, sir, I hope that answered your question, and see you at the next video. All the best. Bye.